Well, good afternoon, everybody, from Sam's Town in Las Vegas. Round 3 of qualifying for the women getting started here this afternoon. We've got El Salvador, Estonia, and Malaysia on 19 and 20. 21 and 22, Iceland, Mauritius, and Ukraine. We'll have 8 games this afternoon to finalize our round of 24 field, as we will be cutting from 70 women down to 24 today. We've already bowled 16 games over the last 2 days. Shannon Pluhowski of the United States is your leader at 34.81. That is a 217.56 average. Shannon with a high game of 278 so far in the tournament. Second place is Sandra Gongora of Mexico, 259 high game, 34.59 total, 216.19 average this week. Third place, Isabel Hulton of Sweden. Her high game 256, total 34.48 for a 215.5 average. Fourth place, she's on our featured pairs for this game. It's Siti Safaya of Malaysia. 265 is her high game. 34.44 her total, giving her a 215.25 average. And rounding out the top 5, our defending champion of this tournament. She won it last year in Wrocław, Poland. Clara Juliana Guerrero of Colombia. Clara with a high game of 256, 34.36 her total, 214.75 average. And that is your top 5 after 16 games on the women's side. Your cut is 24th place. Catherine Duro of Belgium. It's 194.19 is currently the cut with 8 games to go. The men finished up their third round earlier today. You watched it here live on Bull TV. The leader on the men's side comes from South Africa. Francois leading with 53.51, almost a 223 average for Francois. And second place is Cameron from the USA, Cameron Doyle, 52.56, 219 average. Wu Su Hong of Hong Kong at 52.18. Jairus Go of Singapore at 52.01, and Paul Stott Jr. of Ireland at 51.79. That's your top 5 on the men's side. And your countries that advanced on the men's side to the top 24 in order: South Africa, USA, Hong Kong, Singapore, Ireland, Russia, Norway, Philippines, Bermuda, Japan, Venezuela, Sweden, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Australia, Israel, England, and Romania, Slovakia, Italy, Mexico, Thailand, Malaysia, France. All of those countries advancing on the men's side to the round of 24. Everyone else has been eliminated from the men's division as of today. So for a lot of players on the men's side, 62 of them, their tournament has come to a close today. And on the women's side, we will say farewell to a large number of the competitors today as well after these 8 games conclude. Once again, thanks for tuning in this afternoon here on Bull TV. Game number 1 of women's round 3 underway at Samstown in Las Vegas. I'm Lucas Wiseman. Thanks for joining us. We'll certainly have some guests on throughout this block like we usually do. In the meantime, we hope you sit back and relax and enjoy watching this first game of our 3rd round of qualifying here at the World Cup. Just a few more frames left here. Game 1 in the third round for the women here at the World Cup. And we'll have a new group of women coming on to these pairs for Game 2. As we do each game here on Bull TV, we get a new group of bowlers every game. For now, we're watching Estonia, Malaysia, El Salvador, Mauritius, Iceland, and Ukraine. Scoring pace a little bit on the tough side this game on our featured pairs. Nobody really putting up a decent game. Seems to be that way on the pairs next to us as well. Shannon Plahowski would be the exception. She's to the right of us, and she can strike out in the 10th frame for 238. Plahowski ended up with 217 first game. Looks like we're going to have Mexico and Jordan on 21 and 22. We'll have Curacao, New Caledonia, and Slovakia on 19 and 20. Jordan and Mexico on 21 and 22 when we get started with game 2 in just a moment. Still have one pair finishing down on the low end. I think they just finished, so we should have the whistle soon. All right, there's the whistle. Game 2 about to get underway here at the World Cup. All right, updated standings are in. Shannon Pluhowski still your leader by 17 pins over Clara Guerrero. So it's Pluhowski first at 36.98. Guerrero is second at 36.82. Sandra Gongora, who's on our featured pairs this game, is in third place at 36.63. Isabel Holton of Sweden, 36.27. In fifth place is Masaki Mukatani of Japan at 36.12. Cut number after 17 games is still Catherine Dureau of Belgium at 193.41 average. Now moving right along here, game number 2. Sandra Gongora's got the front 4. So we'll keep an eye on that. She's been bowling so well this week. Gongora getting ready to bowl on lane 22 here. Starting with 4 strikes in a row to begin this second game. And should have had it, but something got in the way of that 5-pin as it was going to hit the 7. And she'll settle for a spare attempt here at the 7-pin. Tomorrow morning, the men and the women will bowl at the same time for the round of 24. Our coverage starts an hour later tomorrow than it had been all week long. We start at 9 a.m. local time here in Las Vegas tomorrow morning. And it'll be a quick day with all of the men and the women bowling on the same squad. It should only take about 2.5 hours to get that squad in. And so it's a short day tomorrow. That's all the bowling we have is the round of 24. And then Thursday morning we'll have the round of 8. Thursday afternoon we'll have the semifinals and finals. So I wonder where everybody is watching from. Post in the chat where you're at, and let me know who you're cheering for here in this women's round 3. I know we've got viewers from all over the world tuning in. Got Rochester, New York, England, another England, El Salvador, Cameron, of course, watching in Seattle, Wyoming, Netherlands, England, Mexico. Rodrigo Cruz is cheering for Sandra Gongora. Got Egypt checking in. Hello to you, Hazim. Also Melbourne, Australia watching. Matthew in Chicago. Dennis in Hudson, New York. Charlotte, North Carolina checking in. Sabine in Switzerland watches every day. Switzerland, a great country, very beautiful. Love Switzerland. Had a wonderful time when I went there. Love to go back. Christina watching from Curacao, the beautiful island of Curacao. Brad is in Sacramento. We've got Romel from the Philippines. Bowling Fanatic in Kettering, Ohio watching. Javier watching in Panama but cheering for Venezuela. Alan Smith watching in Northern Ireland. And Peters watching in the Netherlands. Got Puerto Rico checking in. Nicole watching from Linden, New Jersey. Hope your sister's doing well. And she's in there, of course. Alexandra, hope you're doing well. Best wishes to you. Jan is back from Holland. Another Swiss viewer. We've got another Dutch viewer. Have Bendigo, Victoria, Australia. Wayne Chester tuning in. Cheering for the Russian, Bulanova. Kay is watching in England where it's raining and very windy. Nina watching from Iceland, cheering for Kira from England. Got Albert from Wellington, New Zealand. We are touching every part of the world with our live stream today here on Bowl TV. We're all over the place. Sweden checking in. More Sweden, Alabama. JJ's in Alabama. McRow in Dublin. Robert Worrell, 1981 World Cup champ from the United States, checking in with us from Colorado. Nice to hear from you, Robert. Jack is cheering on Shannon Plahowski from Texas. See if Sandra Gongora can rebound after that split in the 7th. She steps up here, 8th frame. 3 frames to go here in game number 2. Gets the strike, and Sandy can still get to 244. Got the Azores checking in. Talked about the Azores yesterday a little bit. Gave a geography lesson, as we sometimes do here on Bull TV at this event. William watching in Wales. Cynthia watching in Akron, Ohio, wants to give a shout out to Puerto Rico coach Jerry Edwards. Peter wanted to know if we'll have any interviews coming up. Yes, of course. We'll snag some people as we see them available throughout the squad today. We've had, I think, almost 20 interviews in the last 2.5 days, if I've added them up right. So I'd say we're doing pretty good in terms of the interviews. We'll see who else we can get. It's always hard at the start of a block. In the morning, the bowlers from the division that's not bowling are still sleeping, and in the afternoon, the bowlers who just got done bowling in the first squad are resting or eating lunch, taking a nap, whatever. So it usually takes a little bit of time, a couple of games in, before we start seeing some potential guests walk into the bowling center. Chris watching in Aruba. Ron Burgundy. You stay classy, Missouri. Gongora stepping up. 9th frame. Another great shot for the Mexican. Bowled at Wichita State collegiately and is a member of the new PWBA Tour. So Sandy trying to put up a big game here. With 204 in her first game today. Certainly looks like she'll top that here in this game. Sandy with the big split here in the 10th. Eight, 10 split for Gongora. A disappointing finish to this game for Sandy. Really didn't look like she deserved that, based on the good pocket hit that she had. She'll be at 210 this game. It'll be a few minutes before we get started with our next game. We had a couple of very quick pairs. And so I would say we're probably at least 5 to 7 minutes away from starting game 3. So stand by and be back with you once we get going again here live on Bowl TV at the QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup.
Stone 7, first ball. Stone 10 front. After the 2. Stone 7. Yeah, touches on the ball. That's a good idea.
Keep on going.
Water? Warm tea? Something? Nothing? Just let me know if Aumi needs something, okay?
All right, ready to get started. Game 3 here. In round 3 for the women, we'll have Mongolia, Dominican Republic, and Germany on 19 and 20. 21 and 22, Azores, France, and Slovenia. Aumi Guerra, two-time champion here at the World Cup, won in 2010, 2011, and finished runner-up 2012. Looking to become the first three-time winner of the World Cup in the women's division. It's been a bit of a rough couple of days here for Aumi. She took the lead after round 1. Yesterday was not a very good day for her. She was pretty disappointed with her performance and trying to turn things around here today. Aumi currently sitting in 12th place. So here's our standings, updated after game 18, already up to date and ready to go. We've got Shannon Plahowski still in the lead by 4 pins over Clara Guerrero. Shannon sitting at 39.01. Clara is at 38.97. Sandra Gongora, Mexico's third, 38.73. She's 32 pins. Hang on a second, 28 pins off the lead. Isabel Holton of Sweden, 4th place at 38.39. And Siti Safaya of Malaysia is 5th at 38.34. Down to 24th place. Well, it's still Catherine Durow of Belgium at 192.61 average. She's been in the on the hot seat all day. Came into the day 24th, still in 24th with 6 games to go. if you're just joining us, the men bowled earlier today, and we made the cut from 24 men. I'm sorry, from 86 men down to 24. We'll run down for you the countries who advanced into tomorrow's competition in order of in order of the current standings. South Africa, United States, Hong Kong, Singapore, Ireland, Russia, Norway, Philippines, Bermuda, Japan, Venezuela, Sweden, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Australia, Israel, England, Romania, Slovakia, Italy, Mexico, Thailand, Malaysia, and France. France, the last one to get in. And, Patrick Mika of the Netherlands missed by 12 pins, so basically one spare away from making it in. Belarus finishing 19 pins outside of the cut. Iceland 21 pins back. And Belgium was 27 pins back of the cut. So very close on the men's side as we made the cut today, and the women's side shaping up to be very close as well. On the women's side, we still have 6 games to add to the standings, but after 18 games, your top 24 countries are United States, Colombia, Mexico, Sweden, Malaysia, Japan, Russia, Hong Kong, Finland, Singapore, Canada, Dominican Republic, England, Brazil, Venezuela, Israel, Puerto Rico, Philippines, France, Aruba, Norway, Switzerland, Netherlands, and Belgium. Just on the outside looking in, Ukraine, Australia, El Salvador, Macau, Bermuda, and Italy. And like I said, we do expect a very close finish on the women's side, much like we had on the men's side this morning. Our two-time champion Aumi Guerra stepping up on the left side of your screen, trying to turn that double into a turkey here in the 6th frame. And a blowout 7-10 for Aumi Guerra. Just dreadful. Put it right in the pocket and no payoff whatsoever for a good shot for Aumi Guerra. And the frustrations seem to be continuing for Aumi. want to say hello to my friend Maria Jose Rodriguez, who's watching, as well as Brittany Hamilton. Both of them sending in some text messages. As we watch game number 3 of 8 here at the World Cup. Still a long way to go before we make that cut to the top 24. The top 24 will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. local time here in Las Vegas to bowl 8 more games. And the pinfall carries forward. We'll cut to the top 8 for the men and the top 8 for the women. Top 8 will bowl round robin match play on Thursday morning, 7 games. And after 39 games, total pinfall plus bonus, we will have the top 3 bowl in the semifinals and finals Thursday afternoon here in Las Vegas. Aumi stepping up, 10th frame. Comes a little light, gets the hit to carry for the double. She can still get to 202 this game. France up on lane 22. Jacques with a spare working and can still max at 227. Runs it out a little bit, leaves the 10. Aumi does punch out for 202. So at least a good finish, getting the last 4 to get to plus territory that game for Aumi.
Okay, well this afternoon I have for you probably the best known bowling journalist in the world, Mort Luby, who hold on just a moment, we're getting the microphone sorted out here. Now, can you hear that, Mort?
I can hear it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Just
right.
fine.
I've just introduced you as probably the best known bowling journalist in the world. Yeah?
Well, let me be modest and say one of the.
Okay. But Luby Publishing goes back over a century.
It was started in 1913 by my grandfather, Dave Luby, in Chicago. And we believe it to be the oldest sports publication in America and maybe in the world. And we celebrated our 100th anniversary, of course, in 2013, and produced a beautiful 300-page magazine.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a whopper.
Yeah, it was fantastic. A lovely big article about the Bowling World Cup.
Well, this is my favorite tournament in the world, so it deserved it.
How many times have you been to the World Cup now?
I believe it's either 37 or 38. And I don't believe I hold the record. I believe
No, you don't.
Bernard Morat has a
Yes.
total of 41, something
Yes.
like that. But it's been the high point of my bowling year for decades, and I covered it for many years for the Associated Press, as well as my magazine and several other magazines in the U.S. I just love this tournament.
Which was the first one you went to?
Well, the very first tournament, the inaugural, of course, was held in Dublin in 1965. I was there. It was my first trip to Europe, and I just gobbled it up. It was just fabulous.
So you were at the very first tournament. There aren't many people now who can say that.
I don't know if there's anybody alive. That's one of the disadvantages of being 84 years old. Most of your friends are gone by this time.
Yes. Well, Jock Kai was around at that time, and he's still with us.
Oh yeah, Jock. There's a colorful character if there ever was one.
Yes. I remember going to see him in his farmhouse out in the sticks in the middle of Wales. What a character.
Oh yeah. So we, when you get together with him now, what do we talk about? The World Cup.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, it's had so many colorful characters over the years. I've covered every imaginable type of bowling tournament, from pro events to lowly amateur events, but this thing seems to attract some wonderfully picturesque people. I think Remo Fornaciari, remember that guy?
Oh, yes.
It was a guy from Italy. He bowled the tournament. He had been thrown off the Italian Bowling Federation because they thought he was too old.
Yes.
And was washed up. And he showed up wearing rental bowling shoes and won the tournament going away.
He's still the oldest person ever to win the bowling
Yeah,
World
what
Cup.
was he, 57 something?
Yeah, he was 50-something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there were guys like Arne Strom from
yes.
Norway, a marvelous character.
And do you remember Kambiz Kiani from Iran?
Oh yeah. Well, he allegedly he was from Iran. He really lived in Paris, and he got by as a bowling hustler. That was his career.
Oh gosh. And then there was Pang Nepomuceno, of course.
Yeah, Pang, when he first won in Tehran, what was that, 1976?
76.
Yeah, he was very shy and withdrawn, and he was sort of dominated by his parents. His dad was Angel Nepomuceno, who was his coach, and he sort of protected Pang from the rest of us weird characters. But then Pang kept winning the tournament. I mean, my favorite Pang victory was in Le Mans. Mm-hmm. And what was interesting about it was that Pang was leading the tournament. So there were all these Filipino expatriates living in Paris, and hundreds of them came down to Le Mans. And they were like Filipinos everywhere. They bet huge sums of money on him. And then, of course, he won it. So that really made him a hero. But, Pang is a major hero in his hometown.
Yes.
And when he won those World Cups, there would be a ticker tape parade down the middle of Manila. And Ferdinand Marcos, the president, gave him a Mercedes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so no, he's big stuff there.
Yeah, I remember he was chosen as the Philippines Sportsman of the Year, wasn't he? And to us in Europe, it's absolutely incredible that a bowler should win something like that.
Yeah, well, it's a big deal because the Filipinos, as far as I know, they've only over the years have only had two athletes or three athletes that I know of that won world championships. One, of course, was Pang, and then Bong.
Yes.
Bong Ku. She was, I think, the only woman who's ever won a world championship for the Philippines.
Yeah.
And then there's a pool player by the name of Efren Reyes, who's was the best. He won many world championships. So there was bowling and pool.
Yeah. Yeah. And which is of all the bowling World Cups you've been to, which ones stick in your memory most?
Oh, well, Hong Kong was wonderful. I just remember the victory party. We were on a huge
I've heard
entertainment.
stories of this.
Well, yeah. But we were in this huge entertainment barge, and it drifted across what's the big bay in Hong Kong, the famous bay. But at any rate, we drifted across that bay until about 6 o'clock in the morning, and everybody was thoroughly smashed by the time we got back. But and they had a band, and there was a lot of dancing. It was great. But they all adapt the unique culture of the country which hosts the tournament. So that's one of the great things that makes this tournament so fantastic.
Yes, everywhere you go is really different. As you say, the culture comes through at every place you go.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wasn't in Egypt, but the final there in front of the Sphinx on outdoor lanes must have been incredible.
That was one of the few that I missed.
Yes, and I know you missed Riga as well.
Yeah, well, but there were so many good ones.
Yeah. Paris.
In place of Paris that was.
You remember the Bowling de Paris? What a lovely centre.
In the middle of the Bois de Boulogne, it's just fabulous, surrounded by gardens and things. And plus, they had a 2-star Michelin restaurant in the place, which has got to be some kind of world record.
Yes, and when you bowled a tournament in Paris, you would have a morning session, and then everybody would stop for 2 hours for lunch, and then you'd bowl again in the afternoon.
No, it was great. It was great. Well, the side trips to the Louvre and whatnot didn't help. It did help, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm trying to think of the other ones that I know you were at. But you've covered all sorts of bowling tournaments around the world. You've been to lots of the World Championships, haven't you?
Yeah, the World Championships, it's a different animal altogether because you have a full team from each country, which sort of diffuses the interest. The thing about the World Cup is you have one man and one woman from each country, so you can really focus on them.
Yeah. And also I think because there's one man and one woman, and a lot of the bowlers share a room with other bowlers, so they really have to get on, and you may not speak each other's language, but with sign language and goodwill you all get on together, and come the banquet everybody just dances the night away.
Yeah. Well, the language barrier is a real issue for journalists covering the tournament, because if you can't, one year, when we were in Toulon, France, I remember there was a woman from Korea who led almost all the way through the tournament, and I, as kind of a little preface before the wind-up, I tried to find somebody who could speak Korean and English, and I couldn't find anybody.
No,
so I have to say I am guilty for putting a hex on that woman, because when the lady from the Dominican Republic won the tournament, I have to say I was relieved, because she could speak, of course, perfect English. But
and isn't she a journalist's dream as well?
Well, she sat down on the floor. I'll never forget this. She sat down on the concrete floor of the press room and babbled away for about an hour straight. You didn't. All you had to do was write down what she said. You had a beautiful story.
Yes, she was fantastic. And the morning after that event, I was walking up to the breakfast room, and she was sitting out on the balcony. And I remember we had those little chalets in that lovely, I don't know what you call it, holiday resort. And she was sitting out on the balcony with a bowl full of cereal, and she just turned to me and she said, "Breakfast of champions."
Yeah, I remember that line. Yeah, that's good. No, she's a doll.
Yes.
And a great bowler, of course.
And then Carla here again this year. She's just down there at the moment on the lanes further down. What a great bowler she is.
Yeah. Well, there's so many great bowlers in this thing who have gone on to great careers.
Yes.
And a lot of them have used this in a commercial vein. I just interviewed Bong Koo, our winner in 1979, and after she won and got all this acclaim and got a big check and a car from the Philippine government, she opened up a pro shop, and then that morphed into a fashion house. So she now makes beautiful bowling shirts, and she's got 10 seamstresses churning these things out. Yeah. So the World Cup really launched her business career, as well as, speaking of the Philippines, Pang, who's got pro shops all over the place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And bowling is still incredibly popular there, isn't it?
It's still popular, but commercially, in talking to Bong, she's a little distressed because some of the big centers have closed, and there's not the interest there once was. Of course, in the Philippines and all over Asia, in addition to the satisfaction you get from being an athlete, there's also one thing that drives bowling over there is the gambling, which is just a fabulous thing to see. These bowling centers at 3 o'clock in the morning, 40 people behind a pair of lanes watching two of the local hotshots going to it and betting huge sums of money.
That's amazing. To us in Western Europe, that's just incomprehensible.
Yeah, I know. What we find in the States that most of our major pros got that way, learned to bowl really in pot games. And it was a kind of a subculture that infiltrated the New York area especially. The bowling alleys would be going till 2 and 3 in the morning with these guys bowling for huge stakes. Also, like the Philippines, you would have some people behind wagering.
That's fun. That's I just cannot comprehend that sort of thing. It's amazing.
Well, of course, the sport takes a different complexion as it moves around the world. And, in Sweden, it's strictly a sport. The newspapers in the Scandinavian countries play bowling like they do soccer.
Yeah, they do. Yes,
it's huge.
Yes, I was really impressed when I was over there. In Gothenburg, there's a big bowling centre which is part of a huge sports complex where they play handball and football and people were out on a Sunday going running and cycling through the woods. It was incredible. Yeah. Really, really super to see, I must admit, and where it's really treated as a true sport instead of just a pastime, which is what it tends to be in many places. Just watching the bowling going on here, we can see, just trying to look for the scores across the board, the conditions seem to be quite difficult this afternoon. There aren't many high scores going in here at all.
Well, it makes you a little suspicious when you read all these 240 averages in the program book. And then when they're exposed to real life, something else happens.
Yes, yes. So what's next in the calendar for the Luby family?
What's next? Well, since I retired sort of 20 years ago.
No, is it 20 years?
It's 20 years, sure. I sold the company 20 years ago to Mike Pinozzo and Keith Hamilton, who were longtime employees of the company. They've done a great job. And in addition to Bowler's Journal, they now publish Bowling Center Management, which is a wonderful magazine for people that own bowling centers. And they have a magazine for the billiard industry called Billiards Digest, and they're doing great with it. But since I've retired, I always wanted to be a painter. I always had this dream. So I started taking a lot of classes and going to a lot of workshops and whatnot. And so now I'm basically a full-time painter. I get up in the morning, have my breakfast, read the newspaper, and go straight to my studio and basically paint all day.
And I'm proud to say that I've got 2 original Mort Lubys hanging on my wall.
We'll keep those babies and they'll be worth a fortune someday.
Yeah, when you and Pat came over to Britain, I don't know, was it about 6 or 7 years ago?
Yeah, about.
And you painted my back garden for me.
Right.
And that's on the wall. And then I went over to see you when you were in Maui, because you're artist in residence at various places in Maui in February and March, aren't you?
Right.
And you did a painting en plein air of of the seaside, and there were guys on rocks fishing, and you did a painting of that scene. I took a photograph of the scene, and I took a photograph of you painting the scene, and I've got those 2 on my wall with the painting that you did.
Yeah, do you remember meeting an artist by the name of Jack Hamilton? You had a big conversation about Churchill's book on art.
Yes. And what I found really interesting is that he started with a yellow wash on his canvas, and you started with a pale grey wash on the canvas. So you were both painting the same scene, but the painting that came out was entirely different. So it's just the artist's eye.
Painters are like bowlers. They all do it different.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Look at out here. There's 2 styles identical out there. And the same way but the tinting of the canvas, since we're into that, The general rule for me is that if it's a warm subject like a face or a figure, I tint the canvas cool, and if it's a cool subject, I tint it warm.
Oh, right.
So that's my theory.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's interested in Mort's paintings, you really should go at, is it mortlubyart.com? What's your website?
That's my website, and you'll see about 100 pictures on
Yeah,
there.
and some of them are absolutely fantastic. There are pictures in Venice which are
dogs.
just brilliant.
A few dogs.
Yeah, well, yeah. The ones in...
You always have a few open frames.
No, the ones in Venice are beautiful. And there were some there's one or two of Florence, and then you did quite a lot when you came to England. There's the Bishop's Palace in Wales, which is just beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, smile for the camera.
So
there's
now,
Dominic taking
Dominic's
pictures.
going to make us famous.
So, sorry, we were saying, where are you going from here? What's the next tournament you're going to go to?
You know, I just don't cover many bowling tournaments. I'm 84, so I can't travel very much anymore. So every once in a while, they'll call me from the office and say, we're a little short-handed. Can you cover thus and so? And so I try to make it if I can.
And you try to wangle it that the one they need covering is the World Cup.
Absolutely. This is the best.
It is. I couldn't agree more. Mort Luby, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us
Thank
this
you,
afternoon.
Judy, and thanks for doing such a good job for the press.
Don't really. It kind of runs itself now. Thanks very much indeed.
Sure thing.
Bye-bye.
All right, hope you enjoyed that interview that Judy did with Mort Luby. Thanks to Judy for sitting in and talking with Mort. Great interview, and appreciate all of the great insight. And we have an update on the standings for you. Take a look here and call them up. Shannon Plahowski still in the lead after 19 games in the tournament, so that would be after 3 games today. Plahowski sitting at 41.30, a 217.37 average. And she's got about a 55-pin lead on the field now. Clara Guerrero sitting at 40.85. Sandra Gongora of Mexico at 40.70. Siti Safaya of Malaysia 40.64. And Isabel Holton of Sweden at 40.29. 24th place, Catherine Duro of Belgium at 36.38, a 191.47 average, as she continues to just hang on to that last spot. She's got Julia Lam of Macau right behind her, just 13 pins back. Olena Roshenko of Ukraine, 35 pins back, and Narelle Baker of Australia is 39 pins off the cut. Edith Quintanilla of El Salvador is 41 pins off the cut. We've got Narelle Baker on the featured pairs this game. And she is struggling a bit here with 3 opens in 5 frames. If you're looking for the results, live streaming, live scoring, lane assignments, anything and everything, lane pattern, QubicaAMF.com is your resource. Go to QubicaAMF.com, click the red Bowling World Cup icon at the top of the page, and it will take you to the information on this tournament. We've got Australia, Portugal, and Spain on 19 and 20. 21 and 22 is Northern Ireland, Brazil, and Israel. As we are just a few frames away from the end of Game 4, which will take us to the halfway point of the block. Nice shot by Baker. Puts a double on the board to help her get going in the right direction this game. Been a bit of a rough start to this game. First half, not so good. Second half, shaping up to be a little bit more on the positive side here. Stephanie Martins from Brazil's got 3 strikes in a row going into the 10th frame, and we'll see what she finishes up with in just a couple of minutes here. She can shoot 233. She'll be up on lane 21 momentarily. Stephanie Martins, a little bit of a strange hit there as she was trying to get 4 strikes in a row, and now she's looking at a max of 212. Norelle Baker, left side of your screen, trying to extend the string. Light hit carries the 7, and she looks up and says, "Thank you very much." And another strike for Norelle Baker as she is really trying to bowl her way into the top 24. another strike for Baker. 4 in a row. She's turned it up a notch here. The back half of game 4. Looking for a big finish to really save this game. And Stephanie Martin's a little dejected after the finish, missing the spare for 200. Israel finishing at 190. Right now, Narelle Baker of Australia sitting in 27th place, 189.42 average, and she's currently 39 pins outside of the cut, working on 4 in a row, left side of your screen, and leaves a 10 pin, so her max now 191. Not a bad game if she can pick the spare up here. Puts her right around her average for the tournament. .188 for Baker. So Baker is 188, Spain at 166, Portugal can get to 194, is just wrapping up our 4th game. Clara Guerrero off to the right of our feature pairs had a 235, so a great game for Clara. There's the whistle for our next game to get started here. We're going to have Ecuador, Martinique, and Singapore on 19 and 20. 21 and 22, Bahamas, Italy, and Finland. Just waiting on updated standings to come in after game 20 overall. It should be coming in pretty soon. All right, we have updated standings for you, and Shannon Pluhowski still in the lead from the United States by just 12 pins over Clara Guerrero after 20 games. Clara from Colombia in second place at 43.20. 216 average for Clara. Sandra Gongora of Mexico and Maria Bolanova of Russia are tied at 42.71. Third place. Fifth place is Siti Safaya of Malaysia, 42.53. Looking down at 24th, you'll never believe who's in 24th. It's Catherine Dureau of Belgium. She's been there the entire day. She's still hanging on at 191.55 average. 38.31 for Catherine. And we still have 4 more games to add to the totals to finalize our top 24 for tomorrow's competition. We'll run down the countries who are currently in the top 24 on the women's side and in position to make the cut for tomorrow with 4 games left. United States, Colombia, Mexico, Russia, Malaysia, Sweden, Finland, and Japan. Singapore, Hong Kong, Dominican Republic, Canada. England, Venezuela, Brazil, Puerto Rico. Israel, Philippines, France, and Netherlands. Norway, Aruba, Switzerland, and Belgium, all in position to advance with 4 games remaining. Countries that are just outside looking in: Macau, Ukraine, Australia, El Salvador, South Africa, Bermuda, Ireland, Germany, Italy, Catalonia, and Wales. But 4 games left. A lot of time to make up some ground here and closing stages. Qualifying before our first cut today. Already had the men's cut earlier today. Went from 86 in the field down to 24. So 62 bowlers eliminated from the men's competition today. Judy just sent me a note that our bowler from Ecuador, who's bowling on lane 20 right now, is the youngest bowler in the tournament. Denise Peña. She's 15 years old and competing here in the World Cup. There's a lot of youngsters that bowl in this tournament. Cameron Doyle, of course, 17. Benjamin Martinez from Mexico, he's 17. So we've got a lot of youngsters that come and give it a go here at the World Cup. See you guys in the chat are let us know who you're cheering for. Got some fans of the Bahamas, Finland, and Ukraine, Netherlands in the chat. And nice to see all of you tuning in to watch the live coverage here on Bowl TV. The men and the women bowl at the same time tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. local time here in Las Vegas. Great game brewing for Geraldine Ung of Singapore, as she has got 5 strikes in a row and has struck on 6 out of 7 shots to start game 5. Di Benedetto of Italy through the face leaves the baby split. Pasanen of Finland looking for a double on the right side of your screen. You'll see on the back of her shirt it says Suomi. That is the native word of Finnish for Finland, or what we would call in English Finland. And we've got Pena from Ecuador up on lane 20 shooting her spare. The youngest bowler in the field at 15. And then on the far left side of your screen, Geraldine Ung of Singapore looking to extend her string of strikes to 6. Needs to hook. Comes up light. I think she's happy she just left the 2-pin on that shot. And she'll be shooting the spare coming up next. Got Tim Mack joining us again today. Tim, what are your thoughts and observations on what you're seeing so far today?
No doubt about the scoring pace is a lot lower today.
Yep.
Listen, there was only 4 scores over 1,700 in the men's division this morning. And, yeah, we're famous right now. We're getting pictures taken.
This doesn't happen all day until you show up.
So what I've seen today is after the re-oil, and to be honest, I remember we talked about yesterday about the oil in the machine and how consistent it's been. It's been again consistent today, but you can see that the lane is getting a lot tighter to the right, which usually happens in tournaments when there's many re-oils and strips.
Do you think that there's an impact because I think they're coming in and re-oiling with their house machine for leagues at night?
I do, and I think some of that memory is staying on the lane. Notoriously, I don't know what the house pattern is here, but it must have a lot of oil on it because there's been a significant amount of oil been put on the lane to the that is get on the lane down lane to the right. So if these bowlers miss to the right and their angles aren't right, they missed a head pin. And reality is, it showed in the scoring pace. The men, wow, it really showed this morning. I mean, the cut dropped on the overall cut number. It was 205 when we talked yesterday. I think it only got to 202 or maybe 203 on the men's side. And there was, like we talked about, there's only 4 scores of 100 over or better. It's a proper test this week. There's no doubt about it. And Francis Lowe, do you say Lowe or Lau? I'm just going to call him the big dog from South Africa.
That works too.
Francois, he wrecked him this morning. I mean, he crushed him. He shot 1835.
Yeah, he bowled really well.
I mean, he out-bowled the field by over 150 pins.
Well, as an example of how the scores have been low today for the women, Catherine Dureau of Belgium. She came in today 24th, and she's been in 24th all day, and she's only shot 181, 179, 171, and 193.
Well,
and that has been enough to keep her in 24th place.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good observation, Lucas. I mean, the scoring pace here is it's we like to call it the grind, and for those who have bowled the World Cup in the past, we talked about it yesterday. The scoring pace has always been a little bit higher. It's always been a little bit more of an open lane condition, and it allows you to strike a lot. But this week, no. This week it's been a very good test of patience and mettle for the bowlers, and you're seeing that in the scoring pace, no doubt.
Now, Tim, do you think that tomorrow, when we narrow the field down to the top 24, that we could see better scores?
We should, because then you're going to have the better players playing on the lanes, and they should play in the defined spot where you need to play to obviously have the optimum scoring pace. You'll see the lane should break down a little bit better tomorrow. More the men and women will probably play the same zone or same area, and we should see the pace go up a little bit tomorrow. So needs to be seen. I've watched obviously all week, and I've seen the men migrate further and further left into the middle lane earlier, which also has caused some of the issues crossing across the house. And the house has been a tough house to cross this week. No doubt when you make the flip from the high end to the low end, it plays significantly different. And then in the middle of this middle bay here where you are here with the setup, with the live streaming setup, it definitely plays different here than it does at the high end and in the low end. So,
and it's a pretty big bowling center, 56 lanes, and you
Yeah.
have that in big bowling centers.
Sure.
It varies across the house.
Absolutely, and what a great venue it is. I have so many great memories when I come down the escalator here. I think of all the times we bowled all the events here, and I always feel real comfortable coming down here. It's one of the few times that I've been in this center and actually don't have my bowling balls with me. So. But still, we've seen some nice scoring from a couple of ladies. Geraldine Ung has bowled really, really solid today. She's bowled 200 every game. She's on 19 and 20 right now.
Yep.
She's got a really nice block going today. She's about 75 over, I think, for the block, and she's bowling a really good game right here on the extra frame pair. Maybe we can pull up her score. She's got a really solid block.
20, 40, yeah, about right, about 70, 80 over for the day.
And just a solid scoring pace with 220, 220, 20, 210. Really,
like
if you look,
good block today.
Yeah, if you look at her yesterday, she had a big hiccup yesterday. She bowled 122 game 13.
Oh wow!
And she's been able to recover from that. And she's in the top 5 right now. And
top 10. Yeah.
Well, after this game,
she might move up a little bit. Yeah.
I would anticipate she's going to move up a significant amount.
She's 100 out of 5th right now.
Yeah, so she'll get right to.
Get pretty close.
She'll be in the top 8, which is the number you need to be in. So.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep, and she could go 259 this game if she strikes out.
And we haven't seen a lot of those today. There's not been a lot of 250 games today.
There haven't.
So. Interesting scoring pace. Hats off to the AMF people for putting a very challenging lane pattern down and testing the bowlers' will and physical skills.
Let's see what Geraldine does.
She's got
here.
a hook. Nope.
She came up light on that lane in the 8th frame, left the 2-pin. That one just got away from her a little bit to the right.
And there's a perfect example of what we just talked about. You miss a little bit to the right and don't get it with the right roll, the ball goes blowing by the head pin. Hence, the World Cup is, it's showing its mettle right now with the lane conditions and the cross, and bowlers are getting maybe a little bit tired. It's
a lot of games.
We're 3 days into this event. And a lot of these bowlers aren't accustomed to bowling long format tournaments now in today's game because the formats are so different. So,
yeah, for a lot of these bowlers, 32 or 24 games in 3 days is a lot. I mean, most bowlers are bowling 3-6 games a week. Bowl 24 in 3 days.
Remember we talked about it yesterday about how the formats even in the championships are just 6-game blocks, and usually you're done after that 6 games. But right now. It's going to be a push to the top 24, and it's pretty bunched up. I mean, you've got enough bowlers there fighting for the top eight, which are right. Everybody's right around 8th place right now. Looks like it's 178 over, which is a really solid number. But you've got a couple chasers chasing, and you got two-time champion Aumi from the Dominican. She's knocking on the door. So you've definitely got some big talented bowlers that are chasing. So we'll see what happens.
So we've got 3 games to go before we make our cut in the women's division to the top 24. And you've been wandering around helping different bowlers throughout the day, right, Tim?
Sure, I've been all over the concourse today for the men and the women, and today's actually the thinking caps had to be put on a little bit more today, as the lane conditions have been more challenging each day, and yeah, it's definitely been interesting to listen to some of the people and some of the coaches and talk to some of the players and what they're seeing and what they're feeling. Myself and Jimmy Callahan from Storm, we've been roaming the field, trying to help out all the players that are throwing our products, and try to give the coaches and maybe the managers some words of encouragement and kind of an idea of what we're seeing out there. So the field, you can make a difference in the field, and hopefully everybody gets better and is doing better. You know what I mean?
Another picture taken of us.
Yeah.
3 pictures in 1 interview. I think that's a new record.
There you
here
go.
on Bowl TV.
See? You're like James Corden.
Yeah, thanks.
Everybody comes in here and everybody wants to take a picture.
I wish I had his money.
Yeah. I watched those carpool karaoke.
Oh, those are funny.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Yeah. I saw the.
I'm not
saw
Justin Bieber or Stevie Wonder, but speaking of Stevie Wonder, there's David Maycock just coming in to check.
Sorry, brother.
Sorry about that.
Your cell phone.
Yeah, I should have that. Sorry.
That's all right.
David Maycock coming here close to the booth. Had a workman-like day today. Just anything plus today was a good score today. If you looked really in the numbers on the men's side, if you bowled over the card, if you bowled 20, 30, 40, even 50 over, you didn't hurt yourself today, no doubt.
Well, we've got 3 more games to go for the women, and then tomorrow we'll have the round of 24 starting at 9 a.m. Extra hour of sleep tomorrow.
Thank God.
Nice. But only 2.5 hours of bowling, so it's a short day tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's a short day, and maybe get out and enjoy what the best city in the world has to offer. A lot of great food places here.
Yes, for sure.
A lot of entertainment value, obviously, here in Las Vegas. So many things to do. People should go out and try to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a half day off for all the bowlers, and a lot of the bowlers are
half
done
day off for us
today, and half day off for us, and then back at it on Thursday with a full day of competition with the round of 8 in the morning and the finals in the afternoon.
I'm out of here on Thursday night, going back home, so see the finals and get on the plane.
And I'll see you at League on Friday?
Friday at League, I'll be there.
Excellent.
I think I get into Indianapolis at 9 a.m., and we bowl 5 o'clock later that day.
Yeah, I get into Indy about 1:30, so I'll
Good.
make it in time for League, I think.
Perfect. Maybe we can win that double spot.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? One of these days.
So we got a couple questions there in Russell Semple. Is that what? Am I get that right?
Yep.
Says Tim, who you like in style-wise out in the lanes? Russell, well, I think the women actually, their fundamentals are just better than the men. If you watch them bowl, they shot repeat better than the men on a regular basis. If you ever have a chance to watch the young lady from Russia, who's phenomenal, she's the future of the game. She throws it great. I'm drawing a blank on her name. Bulanova.
Bulanova, yeah.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. One of my personal favorites is Sandra Gongora from Mexico. I love watching her bowl. She does it the right way. Clara Guerrero, obviously the defending champion, is always fun to watch. And Shannon Pohalski on the left side of the lane. If you want to watch a classic lefty with one of the best arm swings in the history of the bowling for women, it's Shannon Pohalski. Big fan of her. Making a move today is Sanna Passanen from Finland. She's having a solid day as well. She bowled a pretty. I think she bowled 100. No, she bowled 190 on it. She was on the feature pair to the right.
Yep.
But, there's a number of different styles that are really good that I enjoy watching, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, someone asking what your thoughts were on
How about
Bulanova's games.
how about another picture?
Yeah, another picture. How
Yeah.
about that? Someone asking what your thoughts on Bulanova, which you just kind of gave a little bit.
Hard not to like a woman who has incredible timing and can really the leverage she creates she's an incredibly strong young lady. The leverage she creates is amazing. Her rev rate is quite high, highest rev rate in the building. And she, you watch her fundamentally, she's just fundamentally sound, and she's in great position in her power step to release point, match really well, and hence that's why she gets such good leverage and throws it well.
We'd love to see some of these women bowl the PWBA tour.
Yeah.
Somebody like Villanova.
Oh wait,
would be great.
we better say hi to Striker J81. Yes, Bianca Weckerlin. I can't tell her last name. Bianca from the Netherlands. She's always in the hunt. She's a great bowler as well. She's got really cool shoes. She's got the best shoes in the business. I saw she had a pair of gold Nikes the other day, so
nice.
Maybe she's looking for to hold the gold medal at the end of the week this week.
Maybe she picked those up at the outlet mall.
Yeah,
here in town.
go Bianca. Jarrett, that's his name. He just said hello. But yes, Jarrett, we see your post. We hear you, my friend. We hear you.
So
Sana's, I didn't know that. Sana's is a world youth champion.
champion.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I think so, yeah. I was there.
She throws.
I covered the men, but I was there. The women were there as well. The girls were as well. We've got Iceland, Pakistan, and Romania on 19 and 20, 21 and 22, Hungary, Estonia, and Malaysia.
Siti
Safaya.
Safaya. What a name. She's been really good this week as well. She's got to be up in the top 8.
Yes, she is right up there in the standings in
fifth place.
Yep. And we should have an update coming in here pretty quick. Do a little refresh action, and there it is. Have a new leader. Clara's jumped into the lead by 5 pins. Shannon Pulaski drops down to second. Clara sitting at 45.14, and Shannon at 45.09. Sandra Gongora of Mexico at 44.83. Siti Safaya of Malaysia at fourth at 44.81, and Maria Bolanova of Russia at 44.64. And 24th place, well, it changed finally. Julia Lamb of Macau jumps into the number at 192.14 average, and Catherine Duro of Belgium drops out for the first time by 15 pins. Narelle Baker of Australia is just 29 pins outside of the number with 3 games to go. So we've got a lot of players trying to fight their way into the cut for extended play tomorrow.
As I said, Geraldine made a nice run. She was outside the top 8. She's now inside the top 8 with that solid game there.
Moves up to 7th place. Geraldine Ung of Singapore. We watch her hold that big game.
38 pin cushion now on the top 8. So the one you got to watch is Aumi.
Yes, for sure. She had a really good first day and a really bad second day.
Yeah, and right now she just kind of looks like she's just kind of grinding. Let's look at her scores and see what she's done. Yep, grind and block.
She's 180, 203, 202, 209, 221.
So she's just about 10 over the card, so she's just grinding away.
We've got just 3 games left. Make our cut. Be all set for tomorrow morning.
Keep the questions coming, viewers. If you got anything that you want to talk about or anything you want to ask us, fire away. We'll try to help you out.
I'm sure it's nice to be off your feet for a few minutes, isn't it?
Actually, this is nice chairs in here. I want to get in here a little bit more often. I forgot how comfortable they were when you sit down on them. You're probably the opposite. You probably want to get on your feet and walk around a little bit.
I like to I have this the opposite problem. No, you do a lot of walking around on your feet all day long, watching bowling. I know you and Dell and
Jimmy in the U.S. Open last week. We were logging 11. We have the armbands. 11 and 12 miles a day.
That's crazy. In a bowling center.
In a bowling center.
A bowling center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys need to have a personal foot massage expert.
We could have used some of that. That's for sure.
Makes you wish you were in Thailand to get the cheap foot massage.
It would be nice.
After the day of work.
Any massage at this point would be nice.
Well, it looks like we had a spill over here behind our lanes, cleaning it up. Spills and bowling don't go very well together.
No, you don't have a very good stick pretty easily at the foul line.
Yeah, for
Step
sure.
in some water, you're done. Got a question of how Christy Lopez is doing in Puerto Rico. She's doing really good. Great player.
Yeah, she's in 14th place, so she's solidly within the top 24 number.
Yeah, she's not going to be in danger. She'll be bowling tomorrow. She's right now chasing that elusive 8. The elusive 8 number is what is the key.
Yeah.
Got to get to the 8.
120 back. of 8th place right now.
Yeah, and a nice 640, 650 finish to finish would be great. Another question on here. What does it say about Axel from? I think Axel throws it great. The question that was asked, the gentleman from obviously Spain and Catalonia there, the Barcelona area. He throws it great. He's got to work on some of his speed control and changing up some of his wrist release positions, but he's got a good future if he continues to stay with the game. I got a chance to speak to him a little bit and worked with him a little bit. Gets through it really good and seems to have an understanding of the game, has a passion for the game. So I think, yeah.
He bowled a good last game on our featured pairs.
Did he?
Axel did. Yeah, he had front 7 or 8. And,
that's good.
Yeah, ended up with a pretty good last game.
Yeah, he had an up and down tournament. It's a big game, real big games, and he just could. In this tournament, you got to stay away from the low games. You have to stay away from them.
JJ wants you to know if you've ever seen a wheelchair person use a ramp on the tour. I don't think that's allowed.
No, it's not allowed, JJ. You can't have. It's just not. There's certain rules and regulations, I think, on the PBA tour. And I'll equate it to the golf tour. You know, on the golf tour, when you go golfing outside, you jump in your golf cart and they take you hole to hole to hole, but you're not allowed to have a golf cart on the PGA tour. So I think there's some rules and regulations that inhibit using apparatuses to help with the delivery of the ball. Sorry, buddy. Bullanova, they're trying to correct us on there. So
Bullanova.
Bullanova. Sorry,
Bullanova.
Bullanova. So
we say it with an American accent.
we're trying our best over here. We're trying our best over here to accommodate the enunciations of a lot of these people. So
Wayne
please
wants to know,
don't throw us under the bus.
Wayne wants to know how many of the well-known coaches are in Vegas this week with their bowlers. There's a lot of good coaches here.
Yeah, we talked about Eric Gardner being here. Sami Konstari from Finland is a world champion on the Finnish team.
Rod Ross, of course.
Obviously Rod Ross with Team
Jerry
USA.
Edwards.
Jerry Edwards, phenomenal coach. And Jeanette Baker in the house from Australia, 2-time winner of this event in the early 80s. It's great to see her. And we also do have the defending women's champion in this building here as well. She was Amanda Bradley.
Yep.
Which then she got married to Mick Little, and they have a nice family, and she's got one of her kids here as well. So there's a fair amount of talent and knowledge in the bowling center this week for sure.
Yeah, I saw Bill Hall walking around as well.
Yep, Bill Hall and Dale Niemel is here from Next Level Bowling. So there is a wealth of knowledge in the bowling center, and
Las Vegas is a big bowling town.
It is actually.
It's really become one of the best bowling towns in the country, the United States.
Yeah, Russell asked if John Zadell's there. No, John's not here, Russell.
And there's not been any 300s yet. I haven't had the opportunity to really jinx any because nobody's really gotten that close.
The best I've seen so far is Iliamardo Ruiz from Venezuela. He had the front 10.
Yep.
And I think he light 8-pinned or 2-pinned. So that's the best I've seen all week. Great feed though. It's great. What a great environment. What a great place to have this tournament. So many great things to do in this town. Once you leave the ball, I've really enjoyed my World Cup experience this week. I've never been to one. I hope I can get to some more in the future.
So does this mean that you are now going to bowl the Team USA trials in January to try to qualify?
We'll see. I don't have one foot in the ground yet, so I'm still.
Wouldn't it be cool to make a comeback? Try to get on the team
I
again?
had one of my best bowling experiences when I did bowl for Team USA in
2003, right?
Yeah, I won 5 medals on the World Championships, and it was an amazing experience in Malaysia. So, it'd be great to have another shot at it. So, I don't know. You never say never. So we'll see what happens. Yes. Also, someone asked if Mika was here. Yeah, Mika's here as well. Mika Koivuniemen, one of the greatest bowlers of all time. Coaching up the UAE team right now.
He's got a pretty sweet gig with the UAE
Taking
team.
a little sabbatical from bowling. Not bowling full-time right now. He's trying to mend some injuries and trying to help the game in another way by giving back on the coaching side. So hats off to Mika K.
They say you should definitely bowl.
Thanks, Russell. I have been doing some bowling, Russell. I've been working on my game. when I have time. Bowled a couple of events this year. I've been close this year. Bowled a couple of European Tour events. Finished in top 8 in a couple of those events there. So I've been really close. But I'm really committed to my job at Storm and what I'm doing at Storm.
I don't know. I watch you bowl at Hindle Bowl in league, and it looks like that house shot has your number some nights.
Yeah, it's got my number right now. But I bowl the house. Get on the house shot. It's enjoyable for me just to go out there and I get to spend some time with my wife. And see some friends. And if you get a 5 or 6 bagger, great. If you don't, no big deal. But I'm only averaging 237 in the league, so
that's what I mean. I expect much more out of you.
Yeah. So league is league. You know what I mean?
It's just for fun. It's a fun league we bowl in.
But yeah, it's in your blood. It never leaves you, the competition, and you always want to give it a go. And I love being on the lanes, and I still love being out there with an opportunity to win a tournament and also help the game of bowling grow.
Jack says we forgot Craig Woodhouse. We didn't forget Craig. We just didn't mention every single coach.
Yeah, we didn't mention every single coach, guys.
There's a lot of them here.
Guys,
mention a handful.
Guys, there's 70 countries here. There's a lot of good coaches
88
here.
countries.
Oh,
but not all of them have coaches.
Yeah, give us a break here. I'm sure if we went down the list, we've missed out some other people as well. But, there's a number of great bowling minds in the building. So when we do mention those names, of course, a guy like Craig Woodhouse is mentioned and involved in that name as well. So, but there's a number of people, as I said, that are in the building that are qualified coaches, silver level coaches, gold level USBC level coaches, European coaches that are certified for the European division, and also obviously an Asian division as well. So there's a number of great coaches all over the world.
Seems like coaching has really gotten a lot better over the years.
No doubt. Information, we live in a smaller world now, so information is more easily accessible, not only on the internet, but person to person. The world is so much smaller now than it used to be because of travel and technology and video conferencing and video analysis and FaceTime and Skype and all these great apps and these great things that have happened in our world to bring us all closer together.
Someone commenting on the Weber Cup in the USA.
Yeah, I was at the Weber Cup. Wow, what a
Europe.
performance by the Europeans! They got out to a real early lead and never let their foot off the gas. That's 3 in a row from the Europeans now that they've won. And maybe next year I can get in there and help the USA team in some capacity, whether that be being a 9-playing captain or trying to help out in any of the way, and we can try to reverse the trend and get that cup back to America. It's one of my favorite events in the world. It's still personal to me, the Weber Cup. I love it. Love bowling in England. England's a great country. So many great people there. Support bowling the right way, and do it right. I'd love to be back and love to be involved. But I also love what I do with Storm and passionate about what I do there too.
Wayne was wondering, how do you find out what countries are looking for coaches? And I think it's just kind of a word of mouth thing. It's
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah,
Lucas, if you're not within the working amongst the industry or walking around or having an opportunity to meet and greet, shake hands, and meet people, you're not gonna know who's available and who's not available.
It's all about networking and who you know.
Correct.
And
yep, correct.
Yep.
Someone's talking about the left side of the lane. Read some issues on
issues
social
happening.
media.
I don't know.
I did see that. I did see a post
I
on.
didn't see it either.
Yeah, it was a post not in good taste, unfortunately.
By one of the players?
By one of the players, yeah. And I'm not going to mention anybody's name. Let people figure that out themselves. But the left can't be that bad. Shannon Polhowski's in the top.
It doesn't seem like the left's that bad to me. Is somebody complaining that the left is too easy?
No, that it was too hard.
It doesn't seem like it to me. There aren't that many lefties in the field, to be honest.
No, there aren't. And, it's a challenging lane condition on both sides of the lane. It's not like anybody's going out and run away and hiding with this event. And Shannon Polhowski is left-handed, and there's not many left-handed women out there. And she's in the top 5. So you had a couple women, a couple lefties make the cut on the right side, or on the men's side, which are in the mid-20s. But listen, challenging is challenging, and you still got to make shots. And this week, if you were patient and you made your spares and you threw a double here and there, guess what? You made the cut. So let that be a lesson to anybody out there. People, bowlers, sometimes they don't take responsibility for their own actions and their own the process, and they look to point fingers at, oh, the coach didn't tell me this, and or I didn't match up, or I didn't have this. You know what? Sometimes you got to take responsibility for your own good bowling and tap yourself in the back, and you also got to take responsibility for your own bad bowling and know when you bowled good and when you bowled bad. And unfortunately, with the inflated scores today in today's game, people they've get a false sense of reality and a false sense of security of what reality really is in the sport. So I don't hope that answered that question that we were just asked.
Well, it certainly seems like the right side's no cakewalk, no walk in the
not
park
a cakewalk
either.
anywhere. And that's what I'm saying.
And when you think about it, there aren't that many lefties in the field, so you're going to have a small number, if any, that make it and make the cut anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. Do all the lefties expect to make the cut? I mean, it seems unreasonable.
I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. It's reality. Everybody's doing the best they can with what they got. No doubt about it, the left side is tough this week.
Yeah.
No doubt. I'm not arguing that fact.
But so is the right side.
But the right side isn't walled up
Yeah.
either. So, if you go out there and you take care of business, you fill your frames, you be patient, and you try to catch a double or a triple, you're gonna have a chance to bowl a decent game that's going to keep you in the hunt.
Tariq says, hi from Egypt. We need a coach.
Yeah. I know. I've been to Egypt plenty of times. Good people over there. International Bowling Stadium. Yeah. You guys need a coach. There's your answer, Wayne Chester. Move to Egypt.
That's right. Talk to the Egyptians. Maybe they can help you out. Russell says you should always challenge the best bowlers, not make it easy for them.
Russell, you're right. You're right.
The best bowlers would like to be challenged.
The cream rises to the top no matter what, whether they're easy or whether they're hard. You still see people, the better bowlers, get there and win, especially in a format like this. It's not like we said, Lucas, it's not like anybody was run away and hiding from the field on the left or the right or the men and women's division. They're very close. Francois from South Africa is both phenomenal, but if you look at the numbers, they're really close.
Yeah, and the averages aren't so high even at the top.
I mean, you got one guy averaging 220.
Yeah, 223, and
that's
it.
And then the lefties on the bottom down there are about, which are Kim Bowlby in 22nd. And he had a really bad first day, and he's bowled much better the last 2 days. He's 203, and if you look at the scoring pace today, the kid from Malaysia, he was one of the guys that bowled 1,700. There was only 4 in the field. So I don't want to hear about how bad the left was in regards to the right, because there were 4 scores over 1,700 today, and he was one of them.
Yeah. I think this week really has come down to execution more than anything. Lane conditions tough, so
execution,
make good shots.
Yeah, execution. Matching your ball with what speed and angles and surface you want to play. The young kid from Malaysia, he got it done today. He came home like a champ. Really dug his spikes in and showed some mettle and so some maple moxie, as
Randy Peterson.
Mr. Randy Peterson likes to call it. But I would agree with people's assessment of the lanes. We've talked about it earlier. They're difficult. They're not easy. And you know what? They shouldn't be. They should be hard.
Wrapping up game number 6. We've got 2 games to go here in round 3 qualifying before we make our cut to the top 24. Tim Mack has been joining us.
It's been great to be here, be with you, Lucas, be in the booth. And
it's nice to break it up and have a guest every once in a while.
Every once in a while. It's hard to keep talking.
Yeah. And here comes Jimmy Callahan.
We should have Jimmy Callahan in here so he can give you his synopsis of what he sees on the lanes. So the best thing about working with Jimmy, Lucas, and Dell. Yeah, Jimmy has a good story about a Boston cream donut today at the Dunkin' Donuts. Boston cream and gambling, they go one-on-one together.
Luminita makes her spare for 9th. It's wrapping up game number 6.
Jack agrees with us.
Yes, it does. So does Kim. Own your bad bowling. Don't make excuses.
That's right. I mean, you know what? Tap yourself on the shoulder when you bowl great. But you know what? Take responsibility for your bad bowling. So many people say, I had the wrong ball. I didn't match up.
Yeah.
If I had this ball, I would have been fine. I get that. But you know what? Sometimes it's also bad bowling. It's not always matching up. I didn't match up. How about I threw it bad? When you don't throw it good, guess what? Your ball's not going to match up.
And I generally don't have much sympathy for people who complain about lane conditions and say I didn't bowl well because of the lane conditions. You know what? You want to be a great bowler. You want to be one of the best. You find a way to match up.
You find a way to win.
Of the
That's
lane
the beauty for a sport. The physical aspects and the eye-hand coordination of the athlete sometimes get lost in the shuffle. We got a couple more questions on there.
Yep.
The gentleman asked me about out of all the Storm balls during the tournament, are there any favorites for the pattern? That's a great question. We've seen a number of good balls going down the lane that have looked really good this week on the Storm and Rotograph side. The Haywire has been really successful on the men and women's side, we have the new IQ Tour 30 that's come out that the leader on the men's side is used. He used today. Francois from South Africa used Hypercell Skid, IQ Tour, and then the new IQ Tour 30. It's been a really successful combination for him this week. And I know that on the women's side, Claire is throwing the balls from Columbia and Ebonite and the EBI brands. She's been really successful with a Red Legend and a Paradox, track Paradox. So again, when the lanes are hard, it's about shot making, and the best players come rise to the top. So we're pleased at Storm to see so many people around the world using our products. That's why we're here, to try to support the industry and help the event in support of growing our sport. That's what it's all about. We want to grow our sport, and things like this that you do, Lucy, for the USBC and live stream and Bowl TV help bring our sport closer to the masses around the world. So I got to personally thank you for all the hard work and effort that you put in for making this happen.
Yeah, thank you very much, and appreciate everybody who tunes in and watches and supports bowling. We've had great viewer numbers this week. We've hit about 1,000 viewers every day, so
that's great.
Pretty
good. That's great.
Anytime you get to 1,000 live viewers for qualifying, that's really good. As we watch the final shots here of this game, I don't know if you have some folks who need to help or.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me in the booth again. I'm gonna go. We got one more game after this?
2 more games.
I'm gonna go sneak around, take a walk around, see what's going on, see if anybody needs any help as far as coaches and players, and hand it over to the king.
I know as a ball rep, if you're gone too long, people start looking around. Where'd Timmy go?
Yeah, that's the beauty of today, though. Is that my responsibilities are I've been able to walk around and help people, and I don't have to really sit on one person and say, hey. People can grab me or stop me as I'm walking. I try to give them my opinion and try to move as much as I can and be fluid throughout the whole center, which is what myself and Jimmy have done all week. So, and it's been successful, and we've had a successful event. So hats off to Bernie Gibbons and everybody here involved with the event, and hopefully we'll get on here one more time and we'll talk later.
Yeah,
thanks again for having me.
And you're not just here helping people who are on staff or
no,
whatever.
Anybody
who's using your stuff or helping bowl or whatever. You talk to anybody.
Yeah, and I've even helped other people that that aren't throwing our balls here. We're trying to grow bowling. We need to grow bowling.
Yeah.
And if we grow bowling, I feel comfortable and confident that we have more bowlers than my company that I work for. We have more bowlers to sell to.
Yeah.
We have our product. We can get our product out more. So the key is grow bowling, and obviously we at Storm are very passionate about doing that, and we're trying to do that moving forward. So.
All right, we're going to take a little break here. Back
Thanks, bud.
again with Game 7 in just a minute.
la victoria. Een geïrriteerd fluitje.
Thanks to Tim Mack for sitting in our daily visit with Tim. And Slovakia. Through 7 now, we've got to England and Reunion on 19 and 20. 21 and 22, New Caledonia. All right, we have updated standings, and this just in. We have a new leader, and for the first time, Sandra Gongora of Mexico is in the lead at 47.30, a 2:15 average. Gongora in the top spot for the first time in the tournament. Claire Guerrero, Colombia, the defending champion, is in second at 47.04. That's 26 pins off the lead. Third place is a tie, Siti Safaya of Malaysia and Shannon Blahowski of the United States at 46.91. They are 39 pins off the lead. And fifth place, Maria Bulanova of Russia at 46.77. And she is 53 pins off the lead. There's a tie for sixth, Sanna Passanen of Finland and Isabel Hulten of Sweden. And eighth place is Geraldine Ong of Singapore. Now let's go down and look at 24th place. It is Julia Lam of Macau, a 192.45 average, 42.34. Narelle Baker of Australia still just a few pins back, 6 pins off of the cut number with 2 games to go is Narelle Baker. Catherine Dureau of Belgium at 42.08 is now 26 pins behind the cut number, and Olena Roshenko of Ukraine is at 42.01, and she is 33 pins off the cut with 2 games to go. So very close, and it'll be interesting to see how things finish out here in these last couple of games to see who's going to advance into the round of 24 tomorrow morning.
Nee, pak af en toe zo'n glaasje water.
Cruising along here, game number 7 of 8. As we are winding down the 3rd round of qualifying. There's a game and a half to go. And we're going to go from 70 players in the women's field down to 24. So we will lose 46 players in the women's field after this round concludes. They will go from competitors to spectators at that point, cheering on their friends they've made this week. Bianca from the Netherlands with a strike. She is in 19th place coming into this game. And should be comfortably within the number. Let's take a look. Yeah, she's in by 140 pins with 2 games to go. And then Kira Ray of England sitting in 13th place, 201.86 average. Not having a great game this time around, though. 72 in the 5th for her. She'll be up on lane 19 in just a moment. Gongora, who took the lead after that last game at 47-30, is really coming on strong again this game. She had the front 3, 9 spare, double. Let's see what Sandy shot. Sandy had a 247 last game to help move her into the top spot. Got one of the top scores for the day. Looks like the highest score of the day belongs to Geraldine Ung of Singapore. She's 100 over today. And then you've got Maria Bulanova at 85 over for the day. Sanna Passanen of Finland, she's 74 over for the day, and then Gongora at plus 71 for the 6 games today so far. strikes in a row for Bianca. Another strike for Gongora. She's on fire, 7 out of 8. To start this 7th game for her off to the right of our featured pairs. Another strike for Bianca. She's the star of the show right now in our featured pairs. Can see Gongora off to the right, and her string of strikes came to an end as she went high and left a 3-6. But she still has a 250 game out there this game. She is really looking to solidify her lead for the game to go. All depending on what the players behind her are doing, of course, but 250 is a good game today, and she'll need a spare and a double to get there, but she certainly could get there here in Game 7. 3 strikes in a row for England with a wave to the camera. You'll see Gongora on the far right side of your screen, the tournament leader with her fill ball, 246 with a strike, and got England on the left side of your screen. As Kira strikes again for 4 in a row, she can get to 212. Gongora did strike for 246. And we've got 1 game to go after this one. To 11 for England. And reunion finishing things up here, Game 7 on our featured pairs. And then we'll get started with Game 8 pretty shortly. Maybe in about 4 or 5 minutes, it looks like. Some pairs still just starting the 10th frame.
Dan heeft me dat anders gezegd. Hij zei van als er reacties op de nationale toernooien, ja, dan kan er wel wat bij Jan. Maar ja, goed, ik bedoel, je moet ook... Ja, maar je moet ook weten die hebben, waarvan je zegt van nou, ja, die doen we dan als het mogelijk is. Ja. watching, so you have to wait.
No, nobody's watching. Everybody's sleeping in our country.
Oh, they know you'll be there. They'll wait.
No. Only my mom maybe. Yeah, that's right. My friend asked me to wave him yesterday. I was like whole game thinking about it, and then I did it. So I thought everybody will turn it off, and everybody can hear it. No. I hate you.
I didn't do anything. That's good.
How many people are like? You're famous.
So now everybody knows your story.
And not the finish.
Final game underway. We've got Czech Republic, Tunisia, and Azores on set 19 and 20. And 21 and 22, we've got Dominican Republic, Germany, and Wales for our final game of the day. Check in on the standings. Got Sandra Gongora in the lead still after 23 games, 1 game to go at 49.76, a 216.35 average. Clara Guerrero of Colombia at second place at 49.29, so about a 47-pin cushion for Gongora. Shannon Plahowski is at 48.77. She's about 100 back of first now. Maria Bolanova of Russia at 48.71. And fifth place is Siti Safai of Malaysia, 48.66. 24th place, Catherine Duro of Belgium jumps back into the number at 44.62. And actually has a pretty nice cushion. Narelle Baker is in 25th. And she is 29 back. So Catherine has a little bit of a cushion going into the last game. And then 26 is Julia Lam of Macau. And she is currently 57 pins off the number with a game to go. Aumi Guerra on our featured pairs. She is sitting in ninth place currently at 47.43, 206.22 average. By the way, looking at the scorers, Catherine Dureau of Belgium had 254 last game to move herself into the cut number. She's on 41 and 42 if you want to follow Belgium on the online scoring at QubicaAMF.com on the World Cup page. Aumi Guerra, Dominican Republic, two-time champion of the World Cup, working on 3 strikes in a row, 6th frame. Gets another one, and Aumi's starting to slap it out. That's a good sign. That's when you know Aumi feels like she's starting to get it going. She's bowled well today. Aumi's had a very consistent block today, and putting together a very solid 7-game total coming into this game. She's 180, 203, 202, 209, 221, 217, 216. So very good, very steady for Aumi. And that has helped her move up the standings today. So Aumi at plus 48 on the day, and a chance if she strikes out here for 280, that would be pretty huge. Give her a big boost going into the round of 24 tomorrow. Another strike for Aumi as she gives it the little little business there. It's 5 strikes in a row for Aumi from the Dominican. Four pin for Aumi. Ends the string. But still a good game brewing for her. Looks like Belgium down on 41 and 42. With clean game going through 6, no double, but keeping it clean. Important. We'll have to see when the final standings come out who has emerged as the last player to make it in the women's side in the top 24. Looks like Narelle Baker of Australia can strike out for a 227. She just got a 7 count, so looking at 216 max for Baker, but she opened in the 9th. So that will bring her down into the 203 max score range, and Baker was sitting 29 pins outside of the number. And Thoreau from Belgium just threw a split in the 7th, so I think that the Belgian is going to need to be probably at least in the 170s, 180s to have a chance here. Looks like the Belgian made the spare, so Catherine in good shape, it looks like, to make the cut at this stage. All unofficial, of course. She still has 3 frames to go. It still needs to, when I say in good position, I'm assuming she stays clean and gets into the upper 180s, low 190s. Should be enough to make it in. Aumi trying to polish off a big game here to get to 259 if she strikes out. She might slap it out if she strikes. This time we get the the action with the hand and the fist bump and all kinds of stuff going on out there. You know you're going to get a little something. See what we get on this shot if Aumi strikes again. Maybe if she strikes this time, she'll slap it out. She likes to do that thing where she like slaps her hand 3 times towards the pins. Need a little messenger action to get that out of her, I think. See if we can get the head pin flying across the deck to take out the 10 for Aumi here, and I bet we get a little reaction out of her. Let's see what happens. It's wide. And leaves the split. You can tell it was wide off her hand. Still 240s for Aumi. Great game. And she set herself up nicely. Recovered well after yesterday's performance to get herself back in the hunt in this tournament here. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Keep an eye on QubicaAMF.com for the final results. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. local time here in Las Vegas for the round of 24. Until then, have a good night, everybody.
uh,